Alrighty. Welcome back to Lenz Comic, or the classic, less known classic. This is episode number 2470 and Doubleshot number 2364. I have two image trades here. First up we have is King Spawn, Volume 3, which collects issues 13 to 18 of King Spawn. Written by Sean Lewis, who is also the co-writer in the main Spawn book. Our work, of course, is for issues 13 and 15 is Thomas Nalick. Tom McCormick is co-writing with this one. Javier Fernandez. Now, mostly for this one is basically the King Spawn. Well, still dealing with the... It seems like what King Spawn is, like he's an evil spawn. And just a bunch of stuff here. Lots of demons. And, of course, we also have Terry Fitzgerald in here, too. And he's looking for Al Simmons. That's really all about what's much is going on in this book. It's good. Definitely. Book a 9 out of 10. Next up is a character I've never discussed here before, but I'm now discussing the first trade ever for her, for any of her whole series. From the one of the founders of Image Comics, Mark Silvestri, I bring you Witchbade. Now, this is not written by him. Nope, this is by Ron Martz. This is Witchbade. Volume 2. No, not the second trade paperback. Just basically just one click this there. This collected issues 86.92. Now, yes, Ron Martz does write this thing. The artwork for these stories here, we have Blood Sword, Heart of the City, Partners, Fugitive, and Balance. Blood Sword is done by Ku Cha. Chris Botcha's Heart of the City, Mike Choya's Partners, and Fugitive. Now, Witchblade. Witchblade, basically we have Sarah Pazzini. She is chosen as the Witchblade at the start of the series. Now, this series is very infamous for comic fans, from what I can tell anyways, due to the inconsistent publication period this thing went through. Like, here's something I should point out, though, about Witchblade. The first issue for Witchblade was released in on November in 1995. The final issue, I think it was 185, I believe it was. I think that's where the series actually officially ended. Yeah, and of course this is created by Mark Silvestri, David Walt, David Hubble, and Michael Turner. Yeah, the initial series ended after issue 185. Now you're thinking 20 years. You would think a series published for 20 years, they would put out a lot more than 185 issues. Well, here's kind of the thing when it comes to it. This series was published irregularly for 20 years. Like, only one time in the series history. Now, a lot of the time, some years for this book, they only put out like 4 or 5 issues in 1 year. Like, the highest... now, I looked it up. Throughout the entire series run, only one time they actually produced more than 6 issues in 1 year. And that was when they released issues 151 to 159. These issues were the only time ever in the series history, where it produced on a month-by-month basis. and then publish it regularly. And this is what now, as far as I can tell, Witchbade has his fans, fine, but they probably get frustrated with Mark Silvestri for this, for the inconsistent publication, and the fact that he doesn't write the whole series. No, he doesn't. You're thinking, really? Yeah, he actually stopped writing Witchblade, like, very early on. Yeah, he may have created it, but he didn't write the book. If you're really curious, like, how many issues did he write for Witchblade? I don't think he was working on the main book itself. He may have created Witchblade, yes, but he didn't work on the main comic per se. No. Okay, here we go. Witchblade. Alright, so for Witchblade, he did it for issue 1. This is Day of War. He did it up until issue 75. That's as far as he did with the book. Mm-hmm. You're probably thinking, okay, who succeeded him in Witchblade? Was it Ron Martz? About the answer for you. Yep, he's the one who succeeded him in the book. As a matter of fact, he was also the final writer in this book. He came out with issue 80, and he left with issue 150. He was gone for 20 issues, came back for the last 15 issues, 16 issues of the book, and then he left. And I think, okay, so was this the first Eclipse one? No, this actually was the second one. So, who did Witchblade 151 to 1? Witchblade 151, let's see, was done by Tim Seeley. Yep, Tim Seeley did the book. You're thinking, really? As in the guy who worked on Nightwing, Grayson? Yeah, he did the book. Actually, was it's since was still kind of Ron Martz, but Tim Seeley was the writer for the book. How long was writing the book for? I'm trying to look it up and see how long he was writing the book for. It probably wasn't very long. No. Because Ron Martz came back from the of the book. Yeah, it looks like, definitely Tim Seeley did the book, but not sure exactly how long the run was. Here we go. Lee Comic Kings basically can answer this question. One Space cooperates with me, I'll be able to answer this question. Yes. Here we go. Found it. Okay, he did it from 151 to basically 169, and Ron Marr took over and narrated the book. So, yeah, so if you think about it, this book had 3 writers. Yes. What's the story for these issues per se, you might be asking? Okay, so I answer that question. Okay, so mostly put, basically, you have Witchblade herself just... By the way, she's got a partner named, get this, Patrick Gleason. Now you're thinking, wait, is that his name of an artist? Sheer coincidence. And, fun fact, this partner got her pregnant. Yep, she started a romantic relationship with the guy. He was actually a replacement partner because she went through several partners over the course of the series. And by issue 100, she was actually replaced as the Witchblade with a ballerina who was out as a lesbian. I am not kidding about that. Multiple investigated murder. Yeah, she used the Witchblade, which of course caused her to shed clothing. And of course, they go. Of course, she just found out the history of the Witchblade. Basically, when default mode was basically a wristwatch. Then when she transforms, she just turns into, well, mostly it's like a gauntlet that she wears. And they do mention it's one of the 13 artifacts. Another one of these artifacts is the Darkness, which has only had one host the entire time. Yeah, and that was actually a previous boyfriend of hers. He, from what I read from the book, he's a gangster, which of course the older gangsters respect him. They actually like this guy because he respects tradition. Yeah, he actually upholds traditions despite the fact being a gangster. And yes, Sarah had a relationship with him, but he's not the one who got her pregnant. I think that he did. So they actually do go into the actual Witchblade's history. I believe the other parts, like Aphrodite, I believe it is. By the way, this book's actually pretty good. I like this book. I give this book a 9 out of 10. And guess which famous video game character has a comic series that Top Cow published and is set in the same continuity? Tomb Raider. Yep, Tomb Raider. Yeah, they confirmed that's in the same continuity as well. The Top Cow version, anyways. The only character confirmed set in the same continuity as Witchblade herself is Invincible. Spawn is definitely there, and Savage Dragon. Now, interesting enough, Witchblade is set in New York City. What do you think? New York City. It's not the same place Spawn is set? Yes, it is, but Spawn is never... Like, I've read the entire Witchblade series. Spawn does not appear in the book at all. As a matter of fact, Spawn has never even met Witchblade. Maybe a crossover, but never her own book. The Darkness himself has met Superman, and I think he may have met Batman once. Witchblade doesn't do much crossover. But technically, the Witchblade one was not her debut. It was actually in a one of these, I think it was like Cyberforce/She one shot. That was her debut, and this series basically just expanded upon her. At least got praise Ron Martin for this. At least he stayed with the character longer than David Wall did, who was only here for 7 issues and he left. Ron Martin was here almost the entire series. Yes, the book also got restarted with a completely different character, and they just did never really. Here's the thing about the second volume. Did she appear in the second volume? No, they had a completely different host of Witchblade. The current book they published, I haven't read it yet. So, there's that. I'm going to give this book roughly a 9 out of 10. It's interesting, but check out the early stuff if it's in trade. Yeah, apparently Witchblade is a character who does not get respect for trades at all. Spawn does. Savage Dragon does. So is Invincible. Witchblade? Nope. Not really. This is the only trade I've actually found. It's actually one of like 2 or 3 trades I've ever found for her. Yeah. So there's that. So that's episode review. I'm going to take a brief break. I'm going to be working on some comics, and then I'm going to start working on Dr. Stone. Oh, by the way, with this, I now have 3 more comic corners left to go, and I'm caught up with comic corners. And maybe later on today, I might get a chance to watch Baka Range. Okay, next video. Bye.